Presuppositionalist apologetics tries to argue for a God's existence by asserting that the only justified beliefs are those either held by someone who is infallible or someone who has access to infallible knowledge. Its proponents assert that it is absurd to make any assertion or take any assertion seriously if it is not ultimately rooted in an infallible source. Here's R.C. Sproul to explain why, even from a Christian apologist's perspective, presuppositionalist apologetics is silly.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to. That presuppositionalism is an easy approach to apologetics. You never have to do your homework. You're telling the unbeliever, well, you have the wrong presuppositions. If you want to come to the conviction that God exists, you have to start with the conviction that God exists. So it's really anti-apologetics.
And Gerstner said it was the death of apologetics.
It is the death of apologetics. No apologetic there.
Presuppositionalism really only makes one argument. It simply asserts that you need infallible knowledge or access to it before you can even make arguments. This is popular with lazy apologists like Eric Hovind. It's also popular with apologists who have tried to make a case with evidence and have run up against the fact that the conclusion that a God exists doesn't really follow from any of the evidence they've presented. Also like Eric Hovind. I think it would be very silly for someone to find presuppositionalism convincing, because if you need to believe in a God before you can accept arguments for a God, then that essentially implies that folks who don't already believe in a God can never be convinced of one. Ten Kincaid is one of the more popular presuppositionalists, and he is a Calvinist. Calvinists believe in predestination, which is the position that you are predestined to be saved or not, and it's really not up to you, which seems pretty consistent with the idea that folks who don't believe in a God can never be convinced that a God exists. If this is the case, what even is the point of apologetics in the view of the presuppositionalist or the Calvinist?